James is also an earthbound and modest person. Maybe one personal anecdote to prove this point. I had to dig deeply into my electronic email archive to find an email exchange between myself and James from 2003. At the time, James had already been somewhat influential. I've already quoted the Barron's interview. In my email, I was asking James detailed questions on his views on, amongst other things, the whereabouts of the German gold, officially some 3,400 tons, and they are not all in Frankfurt, and on the gold price manipulation and the chances of its successful continuation. Let me quote one paragraph from James from one of those 7-year-old emails. Peter, I have lived in the third world and have traveled to over 40 countries, so I've seen quite a few totalitarian regimes. The market always is more powerful. Totalitarian governments call it the black market, but it is in reality the free market. The free market in gold will prevail, even if some governments try to confiscate gold. The manipulators have already lost the battle. They will, however, continue to fight the war. That's what he said. Hard to say, though, how long it will last. The US dollar is essentially finished as the world's reserve currency, but the authorities will try to buy some time. So don't take this as an absolute statement, similarly to what Thorsten has said. They're trying to buy time, they're successfully trying to buy time, they might even succeed for a few more years, but ultimately they will not. And let me just finish the quote. For example, I expect capital controls to be imposed, restricting Americans' freedom to convert dollars into foreign currencies, and so on and so on. So you had foreseen capital controls, which to some extent we already have in place. I've personally blocked at least 2 or 3 times on beginning capital controls, and we will continue to see that. It's a given. James at the time had no incentive whatsoever to answer me extensively. Nothing to be gained from that, nothing else but to educate a German guy who was on his way to finding answers to his serious questions about gold and the monetary system. Therefore, at this point, one very late and personal thank you. Thank you, James, for your help back then in 2003 and for your continued and enlightening information work.